Stay tuned for the National Rundown to find out more about prisoners escaping, Peyton Manning's plans, and pro-gun activists.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
Hello, I'm Kayla Lewis.
And I'm Samantha Barrett.
This is the National Rundown.
2 dangerous convicts are on the run after escaping from a prisoner transportation van in southeastern New Mexico. They were last seen in white prisoner jumpsuits and were bound by shackles. One of the prisoners, Joseph Cruz, pleaded guilty to first-degree murder, attempted first-degree murder, and child abuse. The second prisoner, Lionel Clah, had pleaded guilty to armed robbery with a deadly weapon and pleaded no contest to violently hurting a police officer. The 2 men escaped the van near the city of Artesia and are believed to be very dangerous.
When you hear the word shipping container, you don't normally think of farming. However, a startup company located in Boston called Freight Farms has different plans in mind. The company has the idea of taking the containers and turning them into leafy green machines. The goal is to turn everyday people into farmers, and currently produces 800 heads of lettuce per week for their school cafeteria. 5 people, including a 7-month pregnant woman, are dead after a shooting in Wilkinsburg, Pennsylvania, turned a backyard cookout into a bloodbath. Authorities say the shots were not fired randomly, as all the victims were shot in the head by 2 gunmen. District Attorney Steven Zappala told reporters, although there is no indication of the location being a stash house, drugs are definitely in play. With no one in custody and the community members demanding some answers, no further details on where the gunmen went or how they knew the victims has been reported. Despite the terror their name may spark, military officials report ISIS has lost 40% of its territory in Iraq and a fifth in Syria. Britain, the US, and other allies are supporting the Iraqi and Kurdish armies in attempts to beat ISIS militants. A series of airstrikes has begun to directly target the militant group's main sources of finance, disrupting supplies of ammunition depots, vehicles, and buildings. These blows have significantly lowered ISIS's ability to operate effectively, as they already lack enough foreign and local fighters.
Revel Casino could be hitting the jackpot this summer. Current owner Glenn Strobe is determined to reopen the resort in June. The new model will have over 500 hotel rooms, some casino space, and the original Revel restaurants and clubs. Revel is the 2nd tallest casino tower in the country, and Strobe says people have been wanting to reopen since the day it closed.
Senator Ted Cruz goes after Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump's supporters, saying they are uninformed and not that engaged. Cruz says Trump is taking advantage of voters who are angry and have relatively low information. He referenced Trump's statement at a past press conference where the billionaire said, "I love the poorly educated." The senator has labeled himself as the only viable GOP alternative to Trump. Cruz is second in the race for delegates in the quest for the Republican presidential nomination and has won the most votes over Trump thus far.
A group of passengers on a Spirit Airlines flight to Los Angeles learned very quickly that an airplane is not the best boxing arena. A fight broke out mid-flight on Wednesday when 5 women disagreed over the volume of 2 of the women's music. When the plane landed in Los Angeles, an all-out brawl began. Airport police quickly rushed to the scene, and after talking to the women for a bit, placed them under arrest. Now we're going over to Matt to talk more about sports.
Thanks, ladies. Peyton Manning has finally hung up his cleats. The 39-year-old, now former Denver Broncos quarterback, decided to go out on top. After winning the Super Bowl this past February, Manning retires with stellar accolades during his 18-year career. He won 5 MVP awards, while also setting single-season records for touchdowns and passing yards. Manning is also the only quarterback to win a Super Bowl with 2 different teams. From one future Hall of Famer to the next, Tom Brady signed a contract extension through 2019 worth over $41 million. $28 million of that is guaranteed up front as a signing bonus. Brady is one of the oldest quarterbacks in the league, but still continues to be outstanding year after year. In 2015, Brady had 36 touchdowns and only 7 interceptions, all while passing for over 4,700 yards. Russian tennis star Maria Sharapova is in hot water after failing a drug test to compete in the Australian Open. Sharapova held a press conference announcing that she had failed for taking meldonium, a drug that was recently added to the list of banned substances. Sharapova is likely to face suspension, which may mark the end of her tennis career. That's all for sports. I'm Matt Gunderson. Back to you at the desk.
O.J. Simpson is reportedly unfazed by the knife found on his former Brentwood estate. According to retired prison guard Jeffrey Felix, who befriended the Juice in Nevada's Lovelock Correctional Center, he has a new saying, "If the knife is rusted, I can't be busted." The LAPD will test the knife for potential evidence. Simpson is currently serving time on armed robbery and kidnapping charges. Coming up soon, we'll have a recap of the political debates.
Danse, balance la cadence, ondule bien tes hanches, au bal du dimanche. Danse, que la fête commence, dans ma belle robe blanche, je suis ton chou.
You didn't give up on sex? Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.
A group of 24 people aged 8 to 19 are suing the federal government. They claim that they filed the lawsuit because the government took too long to act on climate change.
Now we will head over to Ricky to hear a bit about some Kardashian drama.
Thanks, guys. Our first story in entertainment today is about the one and only Kim Kardashian, who adds another infamous photo to her growing collection. The past weekend, the internet exploded once again when Kim posted a picture online that showed her naked, but with black lines across her chest and waistline. Critics were quick to point out that Kim is a mother, and the images like the one posted are not good for her children. In more news, the artist Little Mama was arrested in New York today in New York City for speeding in a 25 miles per hour zone. The lip gloss star was taken into custody when she could not produce a driver's license. And now, turning to cinema, the world was introduced to the new Spider-Man today via a trailer for Captain America 3: Civil War that was just released. Spider-Man will be played by teenage actor Tom Holland. He will star opposite Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans. The movie is set to release in May. And back to you guys.
Now Janae Fitchett is here with updates on ISIS and more on tonight's World News Minute.
A Syrian newspaper publishes a batch of leaked ISIS documents. Among them is what appears to be a job application for the terrorist organization. The form asks about education level, work experience, recommendations, level of obedience, and preference to be suicide attackers or fighters. International officials urge the importance of working together to take down ISIS. 2 of 4 Italian hostages in Libya are freed. According to Italian Foreign Minister Paolo Gentiloni, 2 of the 4 men kidnapped in July have returned home. The other 2 captives were killed during a raid last week. No one has claimed responsibility for the kidnappings, and Gentiloni says no ransom was paid. A cure for the Zika virus is in the works. According to Dr. Anthony Fauci, the director of the National Institute for Allergy and Infectious Diseases, a vaccine for the virus could be in safety trials by fall. Fauci says getting approval from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration is likely years away. The virus outbreak continues to spread throughout the Western Hemisphere. Back to you guys at the desk.
A Florida woman known for her pro-gun beliefs was accidentally shot by her 4-year-old son, according to authorities. Jamie Gilt was sitting in the driver's seat of her car when her son grabbed the gun and shot straight through the seat. Gilt was taken to the hospital and is believed to be in stable condition. Now, Alexa Carini is going to tell us a little bit about last night's Democratic debate.
So Alexa, what politicians were at this debate?
It was Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders, and the debate was at Miami-Dade College.
Was there anything the two disagreed on?
Clinton doesn't really agree with Bernie Sanders about him attacking the past 2 Democratic presidents. She thinks that Bernie should attack Bush for the economy when Bernie disagrees with her entirely, and he's saying that he is on her side and that she obviously hasn't been listening to his speeches as well as seeing the work that he's done for Congress.
So what did they agree on?
They did agree on Obama's relations to Cuba. They want to keep that going. Clinton says that she was actually with Obama creating the crafts of the policy as she was Secretary of the State, and Bernie Sanders hopes that Cuba can see the life in a democratic way. So he wants to follow Cuba in a democratic style.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
Climate change is real, and it's happening as we speak in Miami Beach. Some people are leaving for higher land to avoid the rising sea levels at the coast of Florida. Others have vowed to fight to stay on the coast and protect their homes and possessions from damages. Residents who stayed were asked how the city is adapting to changes in the water. One said that pumps were installed that helped the city drastically when they worked, but also added that 2 years ago, those pumps were malfunctioning, which left the city flooded. The important thing is the city is aware of the issue and is actively working to stop the problem from happening.
They say a dog's nose can sniff out trouble. Well, Lucy, a canine from the United Kingdom, is part of a study focusing on how dogs can detect illness in patients. Lucy learned to help find bladder, kidney, and prostate cancer and was correct in diagnosing over 95% of the studies she was a part of. She was training to be a guide dog but found her calling helping people in a different way.
When we come back, we'll talk about star stripping down for a good cause.
Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
I can't seem to save anything.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Do you like McDonald's or Taco Bell? You're not alone. Americans love processed foods. And a new research study shows that more than half of all calories consumed in the U.S. come from what are called ultra-processed foods. Burgers and fries contain several manufactured ingredients like artificial flavors, sweeteners, or preservatives. The study also says that the fast food may be easy to consume, but stocking your pantry, fridge, and freezer with healthy snacks can help you kick the habit of consuming too many quick fix foods.
Police in a town in Illinois are receiving a lot of attention. This after an alleged drunk driver was pulled over with a 15-foot tree stuck in the bumper. The driver failed a sobriety test and was booked with a DUI offense. Stars from CBS's Big Bang Theory helped raise money and awareness for the Alzheimer's Association earlier this week. The cast reenacted scenes and songs from Grease at the show on Wednesday evening. Coming up, find out what McDonald's is adding to their menu.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Yo, check out this chef, right? Right? That's so gay. That's really gay. Dude, look at those hands.
Please don't say that.
What?
Don't say that something is gay when you mean that something is dumb or stupid. It's insulting. It's like if I thought this pepper shaker was stupid and I said, man, and this pepper shaker is so 16-year-old boy with a cheesy mustache. Just saying. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
Big news in fast food. McDonald's has announced that they will now be adding hash browns to their all-day breakfast menu. McDonald's originally introduced its all-day breakfast menu in October 2015. A dozen Obamacare cooperatives failed to repay the $1.2 billion in federal loans. The cooperatives also owe over $1 billion in additional liabilities, according to financial statements cited during this morning's congressional hearing. In some states, the losses will affect the insurance companies, while others will be absorbed by doctors, hospitals, and patients' out-of-pocket costs.
French police arrest a woman who tries to conceal a child inside her carry-on bag. The woman, whose identity has not yet been released, has been in the process of adopting a Haitian girl, according to reports. Passengers on the flight from Istanbul alerted the flight attendants after spotting the child crawling out of the bag. The child, who was traveling without a ticket and is between the ages of 2 and 4, remains in the care of French authorities. Now our own Jenna Lundstad is going to tell us about the rainy days ahead.
Thanks, guys. We're having another gorgeous day today with summer-like weather, so if you're tired of the cold and winter weather, you should be enjoying this. Tonight, we'll have a cold front coming in, but it will be a high of 58 degrees and it will be cloudy with some showers. Now let's take a look ahead at the 5-day. Tomorrow will be AM clouds with a PM sun, the high around 64 and 39. On Saturday is another beautiful day. It will be sunny with a high of 65 and a low of 49. Now Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, we'll have rain, but the temperatures will still be spring-like. On Sunday, we'll have a high of 68 degrees with a low of 50. Monday will be a high of 60 and a low of 52. And Tuesday is a high of 67 with a low of 51. Now let's take a look outside with our weather window.
So as we can see, everyone outside is enjoying the beautiful day. There's people laying on blankets, reading books. Some are even playing a game of catch with the football and throwing the frisbee around. Here again, we have other people laying out, maybe trying to get an early start on their suntan. The weather has been very nice today and yesterday, so hopefully it will continue into the spring break weeks that many college students are going to be having.
So no more snow, huh?
Hopefully not. Hopefully spring is here to stay, and we have to set our clocks ahead an hour this coming Saturday.
Good
so
reminder.
We'll lose an hour of sleep.
Good reminder.
Yes.
I know I always forget.
Yeah, well, your iPhones will do it for you, but some clocks you still have to set ahead.
Very
You're
true.
still old school, right?
Yeah, if you're still old school.
Right. Thank you, Jenna.
You're welcome.
That's all for today's National Rundown. I'm Kayla Lewis.
And I'm Samantha Barrett. Have a good night.